Welcome to the Sports Council.
And we expect a lot out of them. And so I think kids don't want to disappoint either. They want to do their best, and we want them to be at their best. And we've been very fortunate, been blessed with kids too, that can actually catch the ball, run fast, and throw the ball a little bit too. Do things that you're supposed to on the football field.
The council is now in session.
With a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
That will be the end of this game. The 1A state championship, well, it belongs to Royal as the dynasty continues, and the Knights get their 12th overall state championship and third state championship in a row. The one before that belonging to COVID. 49-7 our final. Royal City is a rural town in Grant County with a population under 2,000 people. In an area best known for farming of the Royal Slopes, it's also on the map for football. Over the weekend, the Knights won their 12th overall state championship by beating Lakeside 49-7 at Husky Stadium in the 1A state title. They have won 6 of the past 8 championships, and COVID claiming the title from the Knights that they had arguably their best team, according to head coach Wiley Allred.
And we like to count the COVID year. We had a pretty special group that year as well, playing the big schools. But we just try to just be our best, and we've been very fortunate, been blessed with kids too that can actually catch the ball, run fast, and throw the ball a little bit too. Do things that you're supposed to on the football field.
Simplify the game. And talk about the community of Royal. They really rally around.
They do. I think they do with all the athletics and all the activities for our kids. It's kind of like the Frosty Westering, try to make the big time where you are, and I think we have enough of that in our parents and community members that really want to make this the big time for everything, and support the kids and make them feel good. But they're going to school, and the kids are doing other sports, and so it's a busy group of kids. Basically, they're not one sport athletes here. They're doing multiple things.
Not one-trick ponies.
Nope, they are not.
And even taking time off of the farm to come play football.
Some of them, yes, and farm and orchard and stuff. They're hardworking kids, I will tell you that.
And Allred's going to keep this one himself. Bouncing to the outside. He's at the 10-5, keeping that motor going, and he makes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Knights.
Well, I don't think the Knights could have scripted that any better.
Hall of Fame coach and head coach Wiley Allred is where farming and football meet. During the year, and especially the late summer and fall, Wiley leaves his land on the Royal Slopes to develop his football players. Allred has been head coach for 11 of the 12 state championships for Royal. While his profession is in agriculture, he creates a culture on the football field that always keeps his players hungry. Allred takes this one himself, fakes everyone out, and Royal draws first blood as Allred takes it in 12 yards for 6 points.
You did a job with the ball fake there and getting the linebackers to be on their heels a little bit to see whether or not he's handing that ball off to Ellis or not. When he pulls it, he's able to wind his way straight up field into the end zone for the first score for the Knights.
Yeah, no, and it's really difficult to get there, and we know that, and it's new for these kids. And so, every year you got a whole new group of kids, and it's fun to watch them progress and improve, and then, get a chance to play in the finals.
It's a brand new group of kids every year, so how do you put that mindset into them? Even though it's new kids, it's the same program as well as different teams winning each and every year.
Yeah, no, it's in those individuals that are playing, they're blocking, tackling, throwing passes. Lance was playing receiver. Lance Allred was playing receiver last year. We didn't know how good he would be at quarterback. We need to be a good athlete, but he's a good quarterback, and that's really helped. And then our line is strong and pretty quick, and that helps. And we knew a lot of those guys played last year. We would be back, and we've played without Ethan Ellis for most of the year. And he was playing some running back for us last year, but a whole lot like we were planned on him being our feature back this year. We've used other kids, and they've stepped up and did a great job. And then behind it all too is the defense. They've just been remarkable, and Coach Scroggins gets them dialed in, and each week that's just been fun to watch them as they, I guess, do what they've been taught all week on the game night.
Yeah, and just talk about the group of coaches that you have making you look good.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. It's a whole group, and you don't do it without a staff. Aaron Christensen and Carter Christensen on the offensive line and defensive line, and then we got Greg Jenks and Dexter Allred helping with line. Kyle Scroggins is helping with wide receivers along with Jeremy Scroggins. And Jeremy does the defense, and that's his deal. It's he's pretty much does the defense and then bounces things off. We bounce things off each other. So it's a great group, and that's obviously what's a big part of it. But the kids have to do it on the field. They, got to believe in what you're doing, and then get some off-season work to get strong, and then they've made plays all year.
Yeah, and just Royal in general, small school. It's a bunch of farm kids. I guess what makes Royal so tough?
I think they've got a mindset. They grow up with, and I don't know if they grow up with it, but they find it when they get to high school at least, if not earlier, and we expect a lot out of them. And so I think kids don't want to disappoint either. They want to do their best, and we want them to be at their best. And so far, it's been working.
Yeah, and talk about when did you take over the program, or tell us a little bit about your background.
I've been out. So I was an assistant coach to both Bob Nilsson and Jim Hill for 17 years, and then I took over the head coaching job in 1999. So it's been quite a while. I'm getting towards the end of my road, but it's still been fun, and I got a good group of assistant coaches that help out a ton.
You said earlier that you're getting towards the end of your tenure. Is there a specific milestone, or
No.
what does that look like for you?
No, but it's I've been at it quite a while, so we'll get things arranged, but I'm good for now.
You're good for now?
Yeah.
Okay, I know. I'll just take what I get with you. The city of Royal, the community of Royal does that.
Well, I just believe that for myself. I know I think enough people. We got people that entrepreneurs and a lot of people that think outside the box and got some really talented individuals in this community, and it's fun. We get we sometimes utilize those to help build athletic places like a turf field here back in 2008. Before anybody thought that should be an option. Guys that are getting up there in years like Ted Christensen have really, we just have a great community with a lot of support. Donate a lot of their own free time and money as well.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Well, Royal has won their 12th overall state championship and 11th under head coach Wiley Allred, the score 49-7 over the Lakeside Eagles. And it's time to name our game MVP. And Mike, I think it's pretty obvious who the MVP of this game is.
Yeah, we're going to award that MVP to number 11 of the Royal Knights, Lance Allred. I had a chance real quick to put his stats together. We talked about coming into the postseason, he was completing nearly 80% of his passes, and he nearly hits that mark again, completing 78%. Completed 6 out of 8 for 96 yards in the first half. In the second half, completes 5 out of 6 for 90, totaling 11 out of 14 for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did throw that 1 interception. So you take those 186 yards, add it to what he did on the ground, 22 carries, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. So he's responsible for 6 touchdowns and 349 yards of offense for the Knights. And well earned.
Lance Allred on the other side of the ball was just as much of a dominant force. Unofficially got him with 6 tackles, including a big tackle for loss, and count him 2 interceptions, both later on in this contest. So he was balling out all over the field on both sides, playing dang near every single snap of this one. And I mean, all the Allreds were making their names known here, but it was Lance Allred who just took over this game.
And if you're a Knight fan, he's just a junior.
Incredible.
We're taking a look at the dynasty of Royal football at Husky Stadium. It wasn't a close one as Royal was up 28-0 at half, going on to win 49-7 over Lakeside. The points scored against them were the first points they had conceded since October. The Knights were led by junior quarterback Lance Allred this season. In the state championship, Allred scored the first 3 touchdowns on his way to rushing for 161 yards. He also threw 3 touchdowns, going 12 of 16 for 185 yards through the air. Allred also led the defense with 5 tackles. His story is a perfect example of how small schools have to plug players into open roles. Allred transitioning from a receiver to quarterback this season.
Yeah, he's just, I think, improved at quarterbacking and linebacker. We had him play safety last year. He played receiver last year. So he's in 2 new positions, and he's been phenomenal at both. But he's been a linebacker along with Jared. And he reads things well. He identifies where he needs to be. And he's just a very, very athletic kid that's turned into a really good quarterback in a short time. Been very accurate for us. Good decisions, and sometimes he just gets back and can't find anybody, and then creates stuff on his own that look good. And so far, he keeps his head downfield and looks for the open receiver before looking for the open run. But he's very elusive. He's very elusive as well.
Talk about his change from receiver to quarterback.
Well, I think part of that change is he was only a receiver for a year. Before that, he had rotated at quarterback with 2 other individuals, Ezra Jenks and Ben Jenks, and their cousins. So the 3 of them, as freshmen, all rotated at quarterback because we just figured we'll figure it out later. And they're just awesome teammates and good friends, and that never been any problem. So we just kind of left it that way. And then the sophomore year, he jumped into the receiver role. So he's grown up having played a lot of quarterback. But we really didn't know a lot of things about the decision making and even the accuracy. I wasn't 100% sure about going into the year, but he's been very accurate. He's done a great job in all areas, leading the team, and he's really a humble kid. So it's been another one, kind of like his older brother Dylan. Like he just does. He's just pretty nonchalant about everything. It's hard to get around.
As he doesn't fight through, he just finds a green grass in front of him until he finds the purple in the end zone. The 3rd touchdown of this game for Allred. How about that?
And credit the legs of Allred, but he made 3 pretty harsh cuts as he was moving up the field, and that was the the work of some great blocking downfield. There was at least 2 or 3 really solid blocks right in front of him. So his guys getting out ahead, giving him a lane to get to the end zone. That's a beautiful team effort.
So 34 yards later, that's 6 points off the legs of Allred, and the 7th put in as Brown remains perfect. And it's 21-0, 1:44 remaining in half. Lance and other key players will return next season as Wiley Allred and the Knights are back to the drawing board.
The council is now in session.
Yeah, I think our kids are really humble. I think if anything, we try to build confidence that they do belong each year because it's different kids.
Alatorre and Ellis, he had 2 blockers, which allowed him to get a lot further than he would have otherwise. But Ellis, this time it's his time to shine. He finds the gap, the 5, and touchdown. Ellis off the 37-yard run. And just like that, it's a 20-0 Knights with 6:37 left in this first quarter.
That's 3 carries for 89 yards for Ethan Ellis. If the Ellis name rings a bell, it's because it was his brother Avery Ellis, who was a star for the Knights 2 years ago, scored 5 touchdowns in the championship game against the Eatonville Cruisers.
I talked about earlier of how many state championships you've won, but you said I didn't win any, it's the kids. But when you take a look back at all of the state championship plaques leading them there, I guess what comes to mind for you, or what feelings do you get knowing that you were part of it?
Yeah, no, just blessed to be coaching kids like that, because you got to have the right combination of kids and coaches and community to make that happen.
Yeah, and then final question. Loyal and humble always comes to mind, and just kind of talk about the idea behind being humble really helps.
Yeah, I think that I told the kids, I think earlier in the week, I probably don't give them enough credit because I'm always telling them how good the other teams are, and they are. But I think it also helps them realize that how easy it is to take a step back, or if you think you're already to a point, to a level, that you're not going to work to get any better. And I think we've done a good job of keeping them kind of hungry and reaching for more. And if we come up short, we come up short, but we're not going to do it because we were thinking we're already there.
You're listening to 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle sports programming.